Hello and welcome. If you have suffered from food contamination, you may have experienced serious health issue at a result. Contaminated food can cause everything from food poisoning to long-term illness, and you may be entitled to compensation for the harm it causes. In today's video, we are going to walk you through the step of filing a personal injury claim for food contamination. We will cover how to prove your claim, what evidence you need, and how you can pursue justice for the harm caused by contaminated food. Let's get started. First step is understand what constitute food contamination. Food contamination occurs when food is tainted with harmful bacteria, virus, parasite or chemicals that make you sick. Common example of food contamination include: first is bacterial contamination. This includes foodborne illness like salmonella or E. coli or listeria, which are caused by harmful bacteria in food. And viral contamination. Virus such as norovirus or hepatitis A can spread throughout contaminated food. And chemical contamination. Pesticide, heavy metal, and food additives can sometimes contaminate food, causing illness. And cross contamination. This happens when bacteria or other harmful substance from raw food like meat contaminated food cooked. If you have eaten contaminated food and become ill, you may be entitled to compensation for your medical bills, pain and suffering, lost wage and more. But before filing a claim, it is important to prove the contamination and show that it was caused by someone else's negligence. And step 2 is seek medical attention and document your illness. If you suspect that the food you ate is contaminated, it is important to seek medical attention right away. A doctor will help diagnose your illness and provide treatment to prevent any complication. Your doctor will also document the symptoms you experience, which will be key evidence for your claim. Some common symptoms of food contamination include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, and fever. Make sure to tell your doctor about the food you eat, especially if you suspect it caused your illness. After seeing a doctor, ask for a copy of your medical records. This will serve as important evidence that your illness was caused by food contamination and will help support your claim. And step 3 is report the incident. If you suspect food contamination, you should report it to the proper authority. This can include: first is local health department. Reporting to the health department helps ensure that others are not exposed to the same contaminated food. It may also help identify the source of contamination, such as a specific restaurant, manufacturer, or grocery store. And food safety agencies. Agencies like the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) or the Center for Diseases Control and Prevention (CDC) often track foodborne illness outbreaks and can assist in investigating the source of contamination. And consumer protection. You can also report the issue to consumer protection agencies, especially if it involves a packaged food product. When you report the contamination, make sure to note the detail such as where and when you bought or ate the food, the symptoms you experienced, and any medical treatment you received. Step 4 is gather evidence to support your claim. To successfully file a personal injury claim for food contamination, you need solid evidence. Here are the types of evidence that will help support your case. First is medical records. As mentioned earlier, your medical records will be crucial. These records show that you were diagnosed with foodborne illness and document the treatments you received. If your doctor confirms that the illness is related to the contaminated food you eat, it strengthens your case. And the second is receipt or proof of purchases. Keep any receipt, packaging, or documentation that show where and when you purchase the food. This can help prove that the contaminated food came from a specific source. And third is witness statement. If anyone else ate the same food and become ill, ask them to provide a statement or a testimony. This can help show that the food was the common factor in causing the illness. And fourth is food sample. If possible, keep a sample of the contaminated food. If it is a pre perishable item, you might want to take a picture of it or keep it in the freezer to preserve it for testing. And fifth is health department reports. If the health department or other agencies investigated the food contamination, ask for any report they may have prepared. These documents can support your claim and show that the food you ate was indeed contaminated. Step 5 is identifying the responsible party. To file a personal injury claim, it is important to identify who is at fault for the food contamination. Some potential responsible parties include: first is the restaurant or food provider. If you eat food at a restaurant and become ill, the restaurant may be responsible for ensuring the food is prepared safely and free from contamination. And second is food manufacturer or distributor. If you purchase pre-packed food from a store and become ill, the manufacturer or distributor of that product may be responsible. This includes ensuring the food is properly handled, packaged, and free from harmful substance. And third is retailer or grocery store. In some cases, the store where you purchase the food may be liable, especially if they mishandle or improperly store the food. Identifying the responsible party is important because it helps determine who should be held accountable for your illness and who you should pursue compensation from. Step 6 is understand the damage you can claim. When filing a personal injury claim for food contamination, you can seek compensation for several types of damage, including: first is medical expenses. You can claim reimbursement for any medical cost related to your illness, including doctor visits, hospital stay, medication, and any future treatment you may need. Second is lost wage. If you missed work due to your illness, you can claim compensation for lost income. This includes wage for the time you were too ill to work and any future lost wage if your illness has long-term effect. Third is pain and suffering. Foodborne illness can be painful and distressing. You may be entitled to compensation for the physical pain and emotional suffering caused by the illness. And 4 is punitive damage. In some cases, if the contamination was caused by gross negligence or intentional harm, you may be able to seek punitive damage. These damages are meant to punish the responsible party and deter future misconduct. Step 7 is consult with a personal injury lawyer. Filing a claim for food contamination can be complex, especially when you need to prove that the food caused your illness and identify who is at fault. That's why it's a good idea to consult with a personal injury lawyer who is specialized in foodborne illness and product liability claims. A lawyer can help gather evidence, identify the responsible party, calculate your damage, and file the necessary legal paperwork. They can also negotiate with the insurance companies or take your case to court if needed. Step 8 is file your claim or lawsuit. After you have gathered all the evidence and consult with your lawyer, the next step is to file your claim. Your lawyer will file a personal injury claim with the appropriate party, whether it is the restaurant, food manufacturer, or retailer. If the claim is not settled out of court, your lawyer can help file a lawsuit to seek compensation for your damage. It is important to remember that there are a statute of limitation for filing personal injury claim, so be sure to file your claim within the time allowed by law. In conclusion, filing a personal injury claim for food contamination involves gathering evidence, identifying the responsible parties, and seeking compensation for the harm caused. If you have been affected by foodborne illness, don't hesitate to take action and seek justice. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment and subscribe for more legal advice. If you have any question or experience to share, feel free to leave a comment below.